Hey, you guys, what's up? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Pretty Nerd Time Machine. I'm your host here to do the absolute freaking most, Bianca B. Givner, aka the Nostalgia Queen, aka Snow Black. And that's with 2 C's because I'm cute. But I will cut you, whoosh, aka Stephen Bay Smith, here to debate all things throwback, Nickelodeon, Disney, 90s, Cartoon Network, anime, you name it. We gonna talk about Bruno in the time machine. You guys, what's up? Y'all, I'm fiddling with this doggone ring, y'all. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see. So y'all know that episode of SpongeBob where him and Patrick, they have the little best friend rings and like they open them up and it's both of them inside. I'm gonna see if I can. So those of you who are watching, you can see this, okay? And when you open it up, it has actual SpongeBob and Patrick in the inside, just like the episodes, you guys. Can you see that? Isn't that the cutest little thing? Now, it's cute, but it keeps opening up and it's distracting. So we're going to take that off so that way I can focus on yins, guys, because you are the prize per. Thank you guys so much for pulling up to the time machine for another lit episode, y'all. We got a pretty cool one today. I want to get into some nice throwback stuff. We're talking forgotten. I forgot all about you. Forgotten Cartoon Network shows that I'm sure you really just was like not even thinking about anymore, clearly. But I think about them all the time. So we're going to get into that. But before we hop into the time machine, you know what we got to do. The very embarrassing status. Oh my, y'all. Again, it's just, if I just scroll and choose, it's going to be some bullshit. I'm telling you, listen to this, y'all. This is 2009. Y'all know that's where the bangers come from. I said, oh my gosh. If you're looking at this, y'all should see the way this is spelled. How did I even take the time to type this out, y'all? It says, Drake told me I'm his everything. Soulja Boy makes my swag harder. And while Jeremiah singing the birthday sex, Wheezy calling me Mrs. Carter. Y'all, and it also says, I'm going to the concert tonight. Let's get it. And hearts, y'all. So this was technically my first concert, but I was so far up in the grass. I couldn't see the stage. All I could see was the Jumbotron. So I don't even remember the concert for real. Young Money and Nicki Minaj that came out to Pittsburgh, and I remember prominently being the only one in my group who knew Itty Bitty Piggy word for word.
I was on the plane with the wine. You could call me Whitley. I go to hell, man.
Nobody in my section knew it, and I was out there. I was on the plane with the wine. Oh, I wish I would have had front row seat tickets, because had I had front row seat tickets, I could have looked Nikki in her eyes and rapped it to her while she rapped it to me.
Why you being weird to me?
But that ain't what the Lord wanted. But it's cool because years later, my husband took me to my real first concert, and Drake pointed at me. So there's that. Yeah, listen, hey, I got video evidence. It is what it is, all right? So there's that. Thanks for cringing with me at that very embarrassing status, you guys. We're gonna hop right into this one, y'all. I think about these shows all the time. These are the ones that haunt me at night. I'm like, oh, this was such a good show. Why did it cancel it? You know? I have a little listy poo. Y'all know y'all hear my list. Y'all hear my paper. And I thought about some really, really cool shows. I started thinking about like just random shows that nobody remember. And then as I was going down my list, I was like, hey, all these were on Cartoon Network at one point. So let's talk about it. Let's hop right into it, you guys. And I'll save these two for later because I think, yeah. All right, let's hop right into it. So my first one on my list, do y'all remember Sheep in a Big City? You're probably like, Sheep in a Big City was this random show. I remember the premise or like the whatever it was about. So Sheep, at first, like he lived on his farm, minding his little sheepy business.
Period.
Like sheep do. I love sheep. If you ever, like once I get my P.O. box and everything, I'm telling you right now, I love sheep. I think they're so stinking cute. little stuffed animals, all that type of thing. You send me sheep, I will love you forever. If you send me anime stuff, I will love you forever. If you send me an anime sheep, I might have to come find you and hug you. So whatever, if that's even a thing, whatever. But I love sheep. So anyway, sheep in a big city. Sheep was on a farm minding his business, and there was like these evil, I don't know, like this military who came, and they had like this sheep powered gun, right? This ray. And it was like on the side of it, it was like a sheep shape. So he knew, oh my God, they need me to power up this ray. So sheep runs away to the big city to try to save his farm and keep them from using him as, the ammunition for the ray gun. He gets to the city and he has to try to navigate life because he a country boy. So it's basically the epitome, like somebody like Florida man trying to come up to like New York and figure out how to live life. Like it just be like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Or somebody down like in Kansas, you know what I'm saying? Trying to come up to, Pittsburgh and learn how to live life. It's just not going to work out. Two totally different parts of the spectrum. And he gets up there, and then he also falls in love with this girl, a Swanky the Poodle. And he was like, this is my bae. So he's trying to win her over and also run away from the military and figure out life. And then I think it was funny because I think each episode was like, it was like a pun off of the word sheep somehow. So it would be like, oh, the sheepish day or something. I don't know. So I thought that was a really cool show. I think it even was like Academy acclaimed at one time, and it just kind of fell off. So I think it had like 2 seasons maybe. And then I just stopped showing up. So I don't know. I thought it was a really cool show. Look it up. You might remember what I'm talking about. Next on my list, let me tell you, I've watched probably both seasons of the show, like all the way through. Do y'all remember Whatever Happened to Robot Jones?
Whatever happened to
Robot Jones?
So Robot Jones, right, was this little robot, and this was like set in like the 80s, like 70s kind of. It looked like the 80s, and he was like in high school, but he was a student, but he was also a robot, and he had to try to figure out how to navigate life. It's basically my life as a teenage robot, but it's set in the 80s, and it's drawn kind of like Charlie Brown and all them. Like it was really, really cute. And he was just trying to figure out how to get through life and how to, all about girls and how to play football and this, that, and the third. It was really, really cute. I don't know what happened to that show. I used to watch it, and I think it used to come on, where they would have little random segments of shows and stuff, and they would show little clips, and then out of nowhere, you'll see a whole series about that clip that they showed on this random show. I don't know. It was, I think it was like 1.5 seasons, and then it just kind of took it off the air. I think they should have kept it. I thought it was cute. I don't know. If you remember that show, make some noise, because you're really lit, because most of y'all, I know you're sitting there with question marks falling out your ears, like,
What?
okay, but that was definitely one you probably forgot about or never heard about. Make sure you check it out. This one, y'all. Oh, I know you remember Time Squad. Oh yeah, Time Squad. I feel like as soon as it got good, because it was already good. As soon as it got good, it was going. Okay, so Time Squad, if I'm not mistaken, it was I think the little boy's name was Otto. And then it was Tug Russell was like that big muscle dude. And then something 3000. I keep wanting to say Andre. Lord forgive.
1, 2, 3,
Okay. What was that robot's name? That's gonna make me so mad if I don't think about it. Something 3000. Oh, Larry 3000. Or is it 300? 3000? Whatever the case. That was whatchamacallit, Time Squad. So it was this like random I always hit this microphone, y'all. I saw it, Mr. Microphone. Mommy loves you. There was this random trio. So Otto was his little boy, and then Tug Russell was this big honky dude. Larry 3000 or 300, I can't remember, was a robot. And they would have to travel back in time to stop like prominent historical figures from doing goofy stuff. Like it would be like, Abraham Lincoln is, trying to be a ballerina or that. I don't know. It'll be something wherever it is, history was jacked up. Okay. And not that history ain't already jacked up. Okay. But we ain't gonna talk about Bruno on this episode. Boop. So history would be all messed up. So they used to have to go back in time and fix whatever little BS happened. And it actually, and I know this one was definitely critically acclaimed. It definitely got like awards and stuff. And then it just stopped coming on TV. And I used to be so mad because I thought Tut Russell was so funny. He used to be so annoyed with all their little misadventures. I don't know. But that was definitely a boppington. And if I helped you remember, you're welcome.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Thank you. Oh, this is a good one. I think about this one all the time, okay? Do y'all remember this show called What a Cartoon?
What? Cartoon!
It would be like what? Cartoon. And it was some little random thing. So it was like a segment that showed little random shows. And on What a Cartoon, I think that's what I was actually talking about. It would be a big show about a little shows. And it would have all your little, it was kind of like how Kablam was. If y'all remember Kablam on Nickelodeon, Kablam was a show about a bunch of little shows. So Kablam would have like Prometheus and Bob, and then Life with Loopy, and then Sniz and Fondue, and Action League now. And so, but those were like recurring shows. What a Cartoon would be shows you might see over and over, but some of them was just random little stuff. And I think some of these, like Time Squad or Whatever Happened to Robot Jones, those were actually featured on like What a Cartoon. So it would just show you about, you know, I guess it was their way of like pushing pilots. You know what I mean? Like saying like, okay, let's see if the kid, how they respond to this. Who was all watching this? How many times they watched it, And then before you know it, you just see a big show about that little show you saw on the little show. It was a situation.
It's lit.
Random shows, but it was on there. I used to like that. And I used to be excited because I'm like, it's going to be some weird random show that come out of nowhere that I'm really going to enjoy. So that was that. Oh, Space Ghost. Coast to Coast. Let me tell you something. Can I be for real with y'all? Because like, so Space Ghost used to come on when the Powerpuff Girls went off. This was like late night. So by this time, it's like 8:30. Okay. Because 2 episodes of Powerpuff Girls and came on already. And then they would let you know, like, this is back when they would tell, do they still do that on TV? Where they tell you like what's coming on next, like for the next like 2 hours or whatever. I don't know. We be watching like, we stream so much. We don't really watch cable anymore. But when there wasn't streaming services, it would be like, coming up next is da-da-da-da-da, and then da-da-da-da, followed by da-da-da-da. So I should be a commercial person. What the hell is a commercial person?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. But you know what I mean. So it would show you in the segment. I remember, like, it would be like, coming up next, it's the Powerpuff Girls, followed by Space Ghost Coast to Coast and Johnny Quest here on Cartoon Network. So it would let you know, hey, the good stuff is going off, then the bullshit finna come on. I used to look at Space Ghost as bullshit, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I always watched it. And I don't know why. Space Ghost was, you know, and actually, funny thing, y'all, I cosplay. I did Space Ghost as a Halloween costume like 2 years ago, and it was so cute. Follow me on TikTok at the Nostalgia Queen. This is how you spell it. I can't remember how to do it. It's underscore whatever. I'll put it in my my link below so you can follow me on TikTok. I'm gonna start more TikToking because it's fun on there. But I did a Space Ghost, and he was just this guy who would, I don't know if he was like a former superhero or something. And he would have like this whole, it was basically like Jay Leno in space. It was just the weirdest, randomness, like talk show of cartoon. It was for like the adults or for the teenagers. But I would watch that little weird show and not laugh one time, but just would sit and watch it. That's what I'm saying. I can't even tell you what it was about. I just remember it was like he would interview people, or it would just be, you know, whatever his little talk show. And again, it was captivating, but I don't know. I would just watch it. That's how I knew it was time to go to bed. Space Ghost was definitely one for the books. Here's a good one, you guys. Here's a good one. I don't know if the creators were like on acid when they came up with this show, but the Misadventures of Flapjack. y'all, it's disturbing. Like, for real, can we keep it for, it's like, okay, so Flapjack was this little boy who was just weird, and I don't know. Flapjack was raised by this whale named, was it Bubby? Yeah, Bubby was the whale. And they found Captain Knuckles, which I always thought was so funny because, like, to play off his name, because I'm a grammar Nazi, so you know that bothers the fuck out of me, okay? I hate Captain Knuckles, and he, like, convinced them about this island called Candied Island, and they would go on all these little wild adventures. Try watching that as an adult, and you're going to realize these fuckmuckles was high.
That nigga's tripping.
Like, they had to have been to create. Flapjack was so weird, but it was so funny and entertaining as a kid. I don't know why they took it off, but I could only imagine. It was probably because it was so weird, and parents were like, oh my God, like, you can't even make, could you imagine them making like Flapjack merchandise? No, you can't, because it's just weird. So I don't know. And eventually, again, it was one that I just looked up, and it just wasn't there anymore.
As soon as I got my check, I was gone.
Which is crazy and weird as it was. I actually used to like that show, and I thought it was so funny because he used to be getting on Captain Knuckles' nerve. Oh my gosh, my sister and I used to crack up at that. Just at that alone is the funniest part of the show to me. The rest of it was kind of strange, but you know, we watched that type of stuff. Speaking of this, I've been wanting to say this for a long time, you guys. This is random, but just bear with me. Space Jam is the 1996 version. Let's be clear, because we won't discuss that other one because we already know it's Space Jam. As a kid, it's lit because you know you're waiting for the Looney Tune parts. I watched it as an adult. There is nothing funnier, and I mean nothing funnier, than how bad Stan Podolak was getting on Michael Jordan's nerves. If you watch that movie as an adult, I want you to specifically pay attention. Michael Jordan, there's so many instances, like through the whole movie. I don't think there's one part in that movie besides the very beginning when he first met him that he was not getting on his nerves. Oh my God. I'm finna listen. When he dropped him off, he was on his nerves. When he was at the golf, he was on his nerve.
Yes.
And you think this is good?
Just take the picture.
All right. Okay.
When it was time to play doggone basketball, he was like, man, just go out there. Like, he was like, I'll pick the mouse before I pick you. Like,
me? Oh boy, I'm ready.
Mouse?
I can do this.
Pick the mouse.
I love playing basketball. Do you like basketball? I'm small, but I try really, really hard. Can you imagine you get on somebody's nerves so damn bad that they pick a mouse to be a power forward before you? That is the best part of Space Jam to me as an adult. Please check that out and just pay attention to that part, because that fact is really going to have you cracking up. That's a side note. Okay, I've just been wanting to say that for a long time. Let me see. What else did I forget? I feel like I forgot one. Oh, so these are, these ones were my Cartoon Network ones, but I do have one that I think about all the time.
I think about you all the time.
But it's from Disney Channel. Do y'all remember Dave the Barbarian? Barbarian. I used to love that show. Why did they get rid of that? It was so cute and random, and he had a little sword that would talk. She was funny to me. And his sister and all that stuff. Now, I don't remember everything about it. I just remember I used to really like the show, and I thought the theme song was really cool. And again, I just looked up and it was poof, be gone. The show was not strong, okay? I don't know. They got rid of like such cool stuff, and I don't know why. Why? I don't know. These are just some that I used to see on Cartoon Network and just random places that I used to, watch or whatever. What are some shows that you forgot about or that you used to watch and it just disappeared before it got good? All those shows I just named, they literally had either one season or like 1.5, and they stopped like making it. And it was either because they say like, oh, we're making room for like other things that we're doing, or oh, it's not receiving enough reception. Even though all the ones that I named, like, or most of them at least, they were like critically acclaimed and they had like awards and stuff. So I don't know. You let me know what you think. Did you watch any of these shows, you guys? Did I forget one? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you want to come on here and debate with the queen, and I would love to have you on my show so we could tit for tat. How do you spell that? How many R's was that just now? If you want to come on here and debate me, I'd love to have you as a guest. I'd love to see what you think of some throwback things that I might have forgotten. And maybe you might not like my list. Come talk to me about it. Hop over to prettynerdtimemachine.com, slide over to that contact section, and hit me up. I'm always here, and I'll let you know how you can talk to me about Bruno.
And that's on who? Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's like my favorite clip. I love that. You guys, y'all know the deal. You keep it real. You stay lit. You stay cool. And you stay nostalgic. Yeah, squares. I'll check you later.